Hi everyone, I hope you're all doing okay and happy new year to you all. In today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make really good egusi soup and you don't want to miss this, so please stick around and let's jump right into the video. So right here I've placed everything I'm going to be using for this recipe. I'll also have a list of all the ingredients in the description box down below, so don't forget to check it out. First, I have some spinach which have been finely chopped, some blended egusi, and you can get this from any local African market near you. And for my protein, I'm going to be using some pork. You can use any protein of your choice. I'll also be using some beef tripe and some beef liver, which I already boiled separately with some onions and salt, simply because the taste can be quite overpowering. I also have some palm oil, and for my pepper mix, I'm going to be blending some tomatoes, red bell peppers, some paprika and some habanero peppers for some heat. I'll also be using some roughly blended crayfish, some seasoning cubes, about 2 tablespoons of tomato paste, some chopped onions, some red chili flakes, and this is actually optional, and last but not least, some salt. Over to my stove, I'm going to start by boiling my protein. I'll be boiling it with some chopped onions, some seasoning cubes and some salt. Then I'll add some water, cover and let it cook until it is soft and tender. And while that is cooking, I'm going to turn the blended egusi into a paste by adding water a little at a time until it forms a smooth and thick paste. And for this process, you can also use some meat stock if you have that available. And if you are using fresh meat stock, make sure it is completely cool. And after mixing these and forming a paste, we'll set it aside. Over to the meat. At this point, the meat is almost ready. I'm just going to stir and then cover again and let it cook until it is soft and tender. At this point, the meat is really soft and tender. I'm just going to separate the meat from the stock and set it aside. One thing I also like to do is to pour the meat stock through a strainer to remove all the particles before using it to cook. Once we are done removing our meat, we'll go over to making the stew base for our egusi soup. So to make our egusi soup, I'll start by heating up some palm oil. Then I'll add some chopped onions once the oil has heated up. At this point, if you have some locust beans or dawa or iru as it is popularly called, you can also add it now. I'm going to stir the onions and allow it fry for a few minutes. Next, I'm going to be adding some tomato paste. Then I'll just stir and allow this fry until the tomato paste has changed from a bright red to a deep red, and this should take about 3 to 4 minutes on medium heat. After about 3 minutes, I'm going to be adding the tomato and pepper mix, and I'm just going to stir and let this fry on medium heat for about 6 to 8 minutes. Next, I'm going to season our stew base with 1 seasoning cube, and I'll also stir and let this fry for another 2 minutes. If you're still watching, thank you so much. This is a perfect time to give the video a like and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. I've just added the meat stock and I'll give it a good mix. You can also add some water if you don't have enough meat stock. Now once it comes to a boil, I'm just going to add the egusi paste we made earlier in little chunks like this. Now there are so many ways to prepare egusi soup, but this is one way I like to cook it. And once I'm done, I'm going to cover and let this cook for about 10 to 15 minutes. Next, I'll break up the chunks of egusi. If you don't like big chunks of egusi in your soup, then I'll add more water or meat stock. Now in goes some crayfish powder, then I'll stir. I'll give this a really good mix. Right here, I'm just adding some red chili flakes. Now, this is actually optional. You can totally leave it out. I've just added some seasoning cubes and some salt to taste. Then I'll stir everything. At this point, I'll add the meat and the beef tripe into the soup, and I'll add the liver at the very end because sometimes the taste can be quite overpowering, but that notwithstanding, you can also add it at this point if you don't mind. Then I'll give the soup a really good mix before adding the chopped spinach. Our soup is almost ready. You can taste and adjust the seasoning to your taste. Make sure you add the vegetables a little at a time so you can get the right ratio that you want. Now give this a really good mix to make sure the vegetables are spread evenly. And if your egusi looks too thick, you can add some meat stock or water. And yes, I already added the liver, and I'm just going to give the soup one final mix, and after that your egusi soup is ready to be served. And guys, the soup looks so good. I hope you will give it a try and let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's recipe. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so already. Thanks again for watching. I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.